Hey YouTube friends, welcome to another edition of what I like to call Knife Up TV. It's not really that, but anyway, I have a toolbox right here on my lap. If you don't know what that's all about, check out our Instagram page. I'll try to put a link below so you can check that out. It'll bring you right up to speed with what's going on. Please do like us on Instagram, and you'll get some very, very cool photography. That was what I did in a previous life, so you know, you can get some really neat ideas and just some nice pictures. And this, if you check that out, it'll bring you right up to speed with what I mean when I say I have a toolbox on my lap. What's that all about? Check it out. Oh, one more thing. Hey, I'm trying to be cool here. Just look. 2 camo shirts. Just keeping it real. Whatever. I just like camo stuff anyway, just for day-to-day life. If you do, you probably have a whole bunch of stuff yourself already in terms of clothing. But if not, I'll stick a link below. Just I'll tell you where I can get where I get my camo stuff. You can get it just about anywhere. You can go to Walmart. But the stuff that I buy is actually really, really inexpensive. It's good quality, like we're talking Old Navy, but it's just really inexpensive, like better deal than Walmart. If you're into cheap stuff, just follow my links because I probably got you beat. I know that you guys know there's a review coming today, and I know that if you just look above the video, you know what it's all about. I won't even mention it. We'll get into that today. All right, let's go. Hey everyone, Pete here from knifeup.com, and today we got a review. It is the Fox USA Forza knife. We'll have that in about 2 seconds, just to bring you up to speed as to what we're doing, what's going on here. If you haven't checked out our other videos, we review knives and other products, but we also don't just do reviews. We also just talk about really cool stuff having to do with anything outdoors. All right, so as usual in the description below, there are links that you'll want to check out, but don't waste time doing that right now. Right now, we've got a review of the Forza. Let's do it now. Okay, here's the Fox USA Forza lockback knife. Fully made in the USA, although Fox is an Italian company, it's got a US subsidiary in Puyallup, Washington. All right, they do make a very decent quality knife. You can't really criticize it as junk. The Forza, by the way, this particular design of Fox looks a lot like, in my opinion, like this guy right here. The blade is, or the handle's a bit different, but that is a Spyderco paramilitary. The handle on this one looks a little more like a Delica, but still, there's this general look. This, you see the blade shapes. They're both kind of tall, top to bottom, and very triangular in shape. So I'm not saying there's any copying going on, but anyway, that was just the first impression when I saw it. It looked kind of neat. I thought, hey, it looks very Spyderco-y. Just my opinion. That is as opposed to, just by the way, here's a Benchmade. I can hardly see it against that background, but you see how the blade is just longer and it doesn't have any sort of triangular shape to it in any major way. So I just thought that the Spyderco looked a lot like the Fox. Anyway, for whatever that's worth, it's a Mike Vellenkamp design. So that's probably, you know, if you guys are following designers, I imagine that's quite a good thing. I'm not so much into that. I'm just looking at the quality of the knife itself. One of the neat things is that it's got a real huge choil here for your index finger. Not only does it have the jimping here on top, but it's got some serious choil for you to grab and really choke up. But then it's just as comfortable to move back a bit because it's got a finger indent right here. And this is just as good. And then it's got a, you know, the rest of your fingers kind of go back here. But this one is excellent. So anyway, just thought that was kind of a neat thing. By the way, it is very sort of heavy duty oriented. It's heavier duty than most other folding knives I have, including the paramilitary. I mean, this knife is just, I mean, it's a classic. I'll get into a review on the paramilitary a bit later, but the Forza is actually just as heavy duty. I could probably argue for more heavy duty because of the sturdiness of the lockback mechanism, but it's no slouch. You can go hunting with it. It's got a nice belly on it for skinning. even more so than the Spyderco. So there's a lot of good things going for it, including the price. All right, so let's get into some of the specs. All right, so the blade is made of 154 cm stainless steel, which is, it's got a Rockwell hardness of between 58 and 59, which is really quite decent for a stainless steel. It's a drop point blade. It's 3.5 inches long. The cutting edge itself is 3.25 inches long. And when you open it up, like you see it right there now, it's just a tad bit short of 8 inches. It's actually 7 and like 15/16, so it's really close. It's got a hollow grind blade, and so it's not just a flat grind like the Spyderco is, I think. It's a satin finish, and it's excellent, excellent sharpness right out of the box. Just to kind of give you a quick idea here, this is a piece of cardboard from like a cereal box, and I mean, I'm hardly trying at all. Like, this is just, it's just excellent, excellent, excellent when it comes to slicing through stuff right away. In fact, when I was kind of playing around with it and I first got it, this is the first knife that I actually cut myself with. I'm pretty careful. This one jammed right into my thumb and hardly put any pressure at all, but of course the point was so sharp. Probably would have happened with any knife, but I'm giving the credit to this guy, saying, hey, he's sharp. And of course it's got jimping right there for your thumb, and like most knives, it does have the locking mechanism, and it's not the easiest. Just like most lockbacks, it's not really one of these knives that you can, you know, flick out very easily. You just kind of got to guide it out with your thumb. And maybe it'll get easier with time, but anyway, that doesn't matter that much to me. I'm not trying to be cool and flick it out all the time. It's just got a really sturdy lock, much more so than just about any other knife I have. Okay, so the handle is an FRN handle. It's fiberglass reinforced nylon. It's just injected into a mold to give it the shape. That's kind of normal for a lot of these knives. The handle itself is 4.6 inches long, and inside, guys, this is really unusual. There's no way I can show you in here because I can't even hardly see it myself. I had to look really close with really good light. But inside is actually a steel liner. I don't know how Fox did it because I can hardly see it. And you certainly can't feel it with a sharp implement in there like another knife blade. You can usually even feel the difference between the blade or the handle and the liner. You can kind of feel the transition point. You can't here. It's so incredibly thin, I don't even know how Fox did it, but kudos to them for putting in a steel liner in there, not just leaving it as the glass handle alone to be the sort of the reinforcement. So they did a good job there. And also the locking mechanism I mentioned before, the lockback, it is not really a knife that you can flick open easily. I can't at all. Like, it's really sturdy through the whole range of motion. But that's okay because it usually makes for a stiffer, sturdier knife. I don't mind that in this sort of version with the lockback. I kind of like it actually for sturdiness. It has big thumb studs. Probably a little bigger than they need to be, but that's like almost no complaint at all. Like, I'm okay with that. It doesn't get in the way of cutting, that's for sure, especially with a blade with this depth to it, top to bottom. It's really a non-issue. Overall, it's just incredibly sturdy, and that's what I like about the handle and the integration between the handle and the blade. You know, I see people doing this kind of thing where you take the blade and kind of shake it a bit to see. There is, if I force it, there's a tiny bit of movement. But again, you're not going to be doing any batoning or, you know, street fighting or anything with this knife. So that's probably not going to be an issue with this particular knife. The knife overall is 2.7 ounces, pretty light, and because of the sort of the shape of the handle, or not the handle, the blade itself with a bit of a belly, even as opposed to the Spyderco, the curve on the blade is you know, a little more substantial, and it's got the swedging along the top as well, fairly prominent. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it in the light here, but it exists. Anyway, so you can definitely use it as a hunting knife if you needed to. Probably it wouldn't be my first choice as a hunting knife. I'd get a hunting knife, but if I had to use a pocket knife, a folder, this would be among the top ones that I would use, absolutely. So overall, we do like it. It is definitely a recommended buy. I think at this point, as of the making of this video anyway, it's half price. It's half price. I think it's around 70 bucks. Used to be 140 bucks. Now I don't know, I haven't looked at it everywhere to see if it really is being sold at 140 bucks, but I'm assuming that the retailers, I think Blade HQ is one of the places that we use to get our knives, and I don't think they're lying when they say that it's regularly 140 and now it's 70. So I would say get them while you can, and check out the links in the video below in the description to find out how. Alright guys, thanks for joining us for our review of the Fox Forza. I mentioned before, I think it really does have that Spyderco-y look, not only in the shape of the blade, but in the handle texture, even though the handle is a little different. It's got different ergonomic feel to it. But anyway, I think that's saying a lot for Spyderco. I'm not saying they copy it or anything like that, but that was the first thing that popped to my mind, kind of, that there is a little bit of emulation going on there. But anyway, that's just saying a lot for Spyderco. All right, real leader in the industry. So overall, we do like this knife. It's sturdy. It can be used as a hunting knife because of the shape of the blade and a bit of belly on it there. We really like the fact that it's thin. I know I harp on you guys, or I say that a lot in my reviews, that I really like the thinness of the handle. That means a lot to me personally when I carry it in my pocket. All right, so I don't need a nice thick, perfectly formed handle like some of the wood handles in some really higher end knives. They do feel wonderful, my goodness, but you pay a price for that. You got to carry it on your belt. Sometimes it sticks out a couple inches with the sheath, and the way it sits in the sheath, different knives can stick out quite a bit. We just like to have a knife that sort of disappears in our pocket. So that's why we like this. And the fact that it's really sturdy, that you can sort of move the blade a little bit, but you can say that with any folding knife, really any folding knife. Even if you pay hundreds of dollars for it, it's still going to have a little bit of movement, unlike something with a full tang that goes right through that's not a folding knife. All right, but you guys know that already. Anyway, that's just a few of my overall impressions. Really do appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out, taking the time out of your day to see what we have to say, or what I have to say really, about knives. There's a lot of other reviews out there, so I do appreciate you checking this one out. Love to have you go stop by our Instagram page, just check out some of the photography. Tell me if you like it or not. Love to have you do a like and subscribe here at this channel here on YouTube, and we're looking forward to bringing you tons more in the future. We'll probably do a Spyderco review of the paramilitary very soon, so you look forward to that, and I look forward to bringing that to you. So again, thanks for stopping by, and we will talk to you next time. Stay sharp.